Hi, my name is Galina Lipina, and I help people create harmony with themselves and their relationships. And today I'm going to talk about masculine and feminine energy. Why is that important? If you are in a relationship and you feel like the passion kind of dwindled away and you don't know what happened, or if you're in a relationship, you're constantly butting head and you don't like it, or you're trying to attract a specific kind of partner, but you attract the completely opposite part. So if you're a woman and you really want to attract like a masculine, strong man, and you keep attracting somebody who's not certain about themselves and not quite sure what they're doing in life and just want to take it easy, or if you are a man and you really want to attract a feminine woman that will trust your lead, and all you get is a controller who wants to do things your way and you feel like your lead is not respected. If any of that is familiar to you, listen on. So, what is feminine energy? What is masculine energy? First of all, we all have them both within ourselves. I wanted to couple that understanding that feminine is for women and masculine is for men. No, we all have feminine and we all have masculine in different ratios at different times. What is masculine energy? Masculine energy, if you think of it as moving forward, it's the energy that's kind of going in a certain direction. That's the energy that's connected with us setting goals and achieving goals. That's the energy of us deciding, claiming, committing. That's the energy of us leading, and that's an energy of giving. All of that are the masculine energies. What are the feminine energies? The feminine energies of just being in the flow, connected with your emotions, smelling the roses, enjoying life, uh, and just really connecting to the present moment, but not as like the stillness meditative state, but really taking all of life. If you think of places, you know, places also have energy. Like New York is a very masculine energy. Everybody goes and rushes, and like there's never enough time. And let's say Costa Rica or Mexico is more of the feminine energy if it's on the beach. That's where you just want to relax and be in the day and not think about anything. So all of those energies, it's very important for us to actually keep them in balance. Because if we're always in the masculine, that leads to burnout. If you always go, no matter where you're a man or a woman, you will burn out if you don't slow down, if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't rest. But if you're always in the feminine and you're just like, oh, I'm just going to go with the flow, I don't have any goals, life will take me somewhere, then you might have some issues with your finances, or you might have some issues with other parts of your life. So keeping that internal balance of both energies is very important. And different people have different approach to that, because you can either keep that balance within yourself, or you can find the partner that complements the opposite energy. So now I want to talk about the different levels of evolution of those energies, because it's not just masculine is masculine and feminine is feminine. There's three levels of evolution of these energies. First is codependence. Codependence is when the person has primarily one energy within them and they need the other person for the opposite. Let's say a man has like very strong masculine, but he's not connected with his emotions. He cannot slow down and enjoy the moment. He actually needs a woman with the feminine energy to provide that for him through sex, through delicious foods. So the typical like archetype, if I were to put it that way, of a first stage codependence relationship is like a macho man and a dormant woman. When a man brings home money and provides shelter, and the woman cooks, cleans, and provides sex. So they need each other. The woman feels like she cannot survive without the masculine financial support, and the man feels like the only way to connect to the pleasures of life is through a woman. There's nothing wrong with that, and there's actually a big percentage of people on the planet, they live in that model their whole life. And it's okay. Like if that works for you and that's where you are, there's nothing wrong with that. But some people get tired of it. Some people at some point is like, oh, I hate depending on the other person. Like I wish there was another way. Well, there is another way. Another way is to go into the second stage, which is start developing both energies within yourself, so then you're no longer dependent on the other person. So then the second stage is called independence. Independence is when the person decides that they want to grow both energies and they want to become independent, and what does it say? Like they want to feel enough within themselves to connect to both sides. How does that look like? Well, for men with masculine energies, they start to develop their feminine. They start going to yoga. They go to personal development workshops. Maybe they get a therapist. Maybe they go to a tantra retreat. So they really start to connect with that feminine part of themselves. Women with their feminine energy that want to develop their masculine, they start set their own goals. They start making their own money. They can decide on their own direction. They can start taking risks. All of that is developing the opposite energy so you can become familiar with it and you can attune to it by yourself. But also in that second stage of creating that kind of like relying on yourself independence energy is actually allowing yourself to fully be in your natural energy. What do I mean by that? Very often, the energy that's natural to us, I'll speak in one aspect, let's say for women, if a girl grew up in a household where the masculine protection from her dad was not feeling like it was protecting, maybe the dad was too controlling or he always told her what to do, he didn't care about her feelings because he didn't know how to, and little girl decided that it's not reliable to rely on the protection of the outside masculine. If I need to take care of me, I need to do it myself, and that's it. So very often around the feminine essence inside of her, she developed a masculine shelf of self-protection. Those women, myself included, grew up as these go-getters. It's like, I'm going to make my own money. I'm going to create my own freedom. I don't need anyone. I can do it all myself. All of that are usually the signs of the masculine shell around the feminine essence. There is a feminine essence inside of it, but it feels so fragile, so vulnerable, and does not trust on the outside masculine that she does not delegate masculine responsibilities to no one. And so in that second stage of independence, for those women, it's not just enough to grow their opposite, it's also important to clear and dissolve those shells through whatever ways, through meditation, through personal development work, through therapy, through rapid rewire techniques. Like there's many ways to clear internal subconscious stuff, but it's very important to do that. I'll give you an example of the same story on the masculine side. So if a boy grows up in the household where the father in the family, maybe he's abusive, maybe he's just a little too strong, maybe he has anger bursts, and the boy sees all that and how that behavior of a father hurts the mother or the kids, then the boy subconsciously learns that, ooh, if I am too strong, I'm going to hurt people around me. So he diminishes his masculine energy. He puts the feminine shell around his masculine essence because he doesn't want to hurt other people, because he's a good person. But how does that show up? Then the leadership also gets diminished. And those kind of men, they always ask their partners, hey, honey, where do you want to go for dinner? And what would you like to do now? And they ask too much, they check in too much, and they think they're considerate, and they are. But it also can stem from the trauma around tying masculine energy with abuse, with anger, with hurt. So for the independent stage, coming to that inner wholeness, the work for such men is, yes, connect to the feminine energy, but also clear all the shells and all the resistances around fully being their healthy masculine, is their powerful masculine. So at that second stage, that's where a lot of self-work happens. The focus kind of turns within. Very often people at that stage, they either say, I'm not looking for a relationship, I got to work on myself, or they are in a relationship, but it's very clear that's like, here's you, here's me, I'm responsible for me, you're responsible for you. Maybe it's like even like splitting the bill in the restaurant, like it's very separatory because they don't want to be enmeshed like they were in the codependent stage. And that stage is actually important and vital. You cannot skip the second stage and go to the third stage. So even though in the moment the polarity might dwindle, it's an important step. Let's talk about polarity a little bit. Polarity or passion. To me, before I was reading the literature on this topic, and David Data, for example, is one of the authors that really opened my eyes on a lot of this. For me, this whole like attraction and passion and polarity was a mystery. I didn't know why sometimes it was there and sometimes it was not. And after I studied it, I actually realized it was very simple. It's like a magnet. Like there's two magnets and there's a North Pole and a South Pole, they attract, right? And if it's a North Pole and a North Pole, they repulse. So the same happens with the energies. So if in a relationship or in a dynamic, one person is more in their feminine energy and another is more in their masculine energy, it attracts. It creates that arc of polarity, attraction, passion. If both people are masculine, that would be an experience of butting heads. Have you ever had that, or maybe observed in relationships and couples around you, when a man and a woman fight for leadership? I want to do it this way. No, we should do it this way. We should go that way. And there's no lead and follow. Both people want to lead. Those are two masculine energies. There's no passion. There's no attraction in that moment. It actually not only does not attract, sometimes people get pushed away. They want to go away because it does not feel pleasant. So in the first stage, in the codependence, because it's very strong masculine feminine, the polarity of the attraction is really strong. That's why very often people get in the relationship because like, oh, she's so hot, he's so hot, oh my God, I can't be without her. That's that arc of, ooh, that person has the energy I don't have, right? In the second stage, when people start to tune into both energies, they become a little bit more neutral. They have this and they have that. And the polarity in relationships sometimes can go away, sometimes. Because even in the second stage, we can flip between two energies, and in those moments, we can have the strong passion. And once people are out of that second stage and they're ready for the third stage, the passion comes back. One more important thing to know about shells. Very often, when people start to develop the opposite energy or tune into what I need to work on to create the partnership that I want or the attraction that I want, instead of dissolving the shells, they build up another shell. What does that mean? Very often, I'll speak for both sides. Let's say it's a woman, has a feminine essence, but she built up a very strong masculine shell. Maybe she's like an executive CEO, she's very strong, she has a nice home, she has a nice car, but she's like, oh, I'm lonely. And all the men that I attract, like, they're not strong enough, I cannot surrender to them. Well, it's true, because if she's in her masculine, she attracts men that are more in their feminine in that moment. But when that woman says to herself, ooh, I want to be in a relationship, I need to be more feminine. How do I be more feminine? Now, instead of dissolving that shell and accessing that feminine within her, the true feminine, which is actually feeling your feelings, expressing them in the moment, not filtering yourself through your mind, very often she goes to a course on how to learn how to flirt with other men, how to be a certain way. Maybe she'll hire a stylist and maybe learns how to do makeup and nice clothes. So on top of her masculine shell, she puts another feminine shell that's more like a fake expression of feminine. It's not her true nature, but she's like, I gotta do that if I want to get a man. Same goes for the men. They have that strong masculine essence. Let's say they have a feminine shell of maybe uncertainty, insecurity. They don't want to like hurt somebody's feelings. They don't want to come off too strong. And instead of really dissolving that resistance and tapping into that strength that's already there, that natural leadership where if they just speak their truth, the women will follow. They go to like pickup courses. So they learn what to say and how to do things to get a girl. It might get you a girl or a guy, but it may not get you the depth of the relationship that you want, because now between your essence and their essence, there's multiple levels of shells and self-protection. So if you really want to create the feeling of connection in your partnership, that deep, deep, deep soul connection, the energy connection, and really feel loved and seen for who you are, then doing the inner work and dissolving those shells is a must. And once you get to the point of completion, because we're never fully done, like life is an evolution, right? But if you get to the point, it's like, you know what? Like, I worked on my mom's stuff and my dad's stuff. I kind of can connect to my feelings. I can express them verbally. I can show them on my face in the moment. Okay. I can set my direction in life. I make my own money. Like, I have enough. Now you get to a point, and some people, by the way, also stay on the second level their whole life. Nothing wrong with that. If that works for you, great. But some people get bored and they say, sure, I can be my own masculine and feminine. I could, but I don't want to. and I really enjoy the dynamic of interaction. I really want to do it with another human, but I'm not ready to go back to the codependence relationships. What else? What else is out there? Well, that's the third stage. The third stage, for those who are willing and able and ready, is called interdependence or intimate communion or third stage. There are different terms used. Um, but what that one talks about is the experience of choosing to be with another, not because you have to get something from them, but because you want to share an experience of life. You want to actually give. You want to expand love together. You want to grow more open into love within yourself, with each other, and even be more love into the world. In the third stage, it's more important the heart openness. It's more important of how much more vulnerable can we get? How much can we amplify love? And the polarity on that third stage is also could be very strong because people consciously cultivate and they switch from masculine to feminine, and they do it on demand because they already practiced it on the second stage. And when I discovered that possibility of the third stage, like the first time I read one of the books, like I honestly cried because I realized my whole life I was looking for something like that, but I didn't have the words to explain it. And the only type of relationships that I saw growing up back in Russia were codependent ones. Like I did not have any point of reference for that third stage interdependent relationships. And when I saw it on a page in a book, I'm like, that's it. That's what I want to create. And then I went through my journey of the second stage and the integration. And I had a couple of relationships in the third stage, and it was just absolutely amazing. So, what to add here? What to add here? Um, I think I'll wrap it up here. So we talked about what is feminine, what is masculine. We covered the three stages of the evolution of both energies. We talk about the inner work required if you want to create the healthy version of relationships without codependence. We also talked about what kills the passion and what enhances the passion, and how we always attract our reciprocal. So if you're in masculine, you attract feminine, and feminine, you attract masculine. And if you want to attract a different kind of person, you got to work on yourself and switch to the kind of energy you prefer to be in. So if you like this topic, please like the video, share it with the friends that you think might be of interest to. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to hear more on these topics, and I will see you in the future.